So hi everyone, today we're going to navigate through the anatomy of the ascending aorta as a part of the largest arterial trunk, what we call the aorta, in the body that is responsible for distribution of oxygenated blood from actually the left ventricle of the heart to all the body parts, the systemic circulation everywhere. It is the aorta, the top place. So now let's go through the ascending aorta. So ascending aorta as a part of the aorta, it arises from the upper part of the left ventricle, or what we call the aortic vestibule. This part over there where it arises is what we call the aortic vestibule, but it is within it is what we call the upper end of the left ventricle. Then it continues as the arch of the aorta at the level of the sternal angle. Let me show you it precisely here. The level of the sternal angle is the level of articulation of the second rib. So now you want to see the extent. Let me show you properly. Over here, it begins from there and it terminates from there. It begins from the upper end of the left, or upper end of what we call the left ventricle, known as the aortic vestibule, and it terminates at the level of the sternal angle, or the level of articulation of the second costal cartilage, of the costal cartilage of the second rib, which is known as the sternal angle, where it continues as the arch of the aorta. So, how long is, what are the dimensions of the ascending aorta? Actually, the answer to that question is that the ascending aorta is actually 5 centimeters long. From here up to there, it is 5 centimeters long, and its diameter is about 3 centimeters. So let us go through its course. The ascending aorta, it begins behind the left half of the sternum. This is the sternum, its body. So it begins behind the left half of it. The left half of it, which is at the level of the lower board of the third costal cartilage. This is the lower board of the third costal cartilage, which corresponds to its point of origin. Then afterwards, it runs upwards. It is running upwards, then forwards, and to the right. As you see, if you give an observation of its course, it runs up, then forward, but it is slightly to the right. Then it continues as the arch of the aorta at the level of the sternal angle. That is its course, actually. There is nothing like any other details. But now, there is something I really want to show you. Be kind a little patient. Thank God. I think I've seen it. Yeah. So, when you observe the root of the ascending aorta, this is the root of the ascending aorta. It prevents what we call 3 dilatations. This is 1, this is 2, that is 3. It prevents 3 dilatations, and these dilatations are known as the aortic sinuses of Valsalva. They're known as the aortic sinuses of Valsalva, and they are just located immediately above the cusps of the aortic valve. So, the positions of these dilatations are anterior. This is anterior. There is right posterior and the left posterior. Those are the positions of the dilatations. So we're going to see why are they called anterior aortic sinus and then left posterior aortic sinus and then right posterior aortic sinus. Why? This is the fact. The anterior aortic sinus gives origin to what we call the right coronary artery. So as a matter of fact, it's known as the right coronary sinus. Then we go to the left posterior aortic sinus. It gives rise to the left coronary artery. So as a matter of fact, it is known as the left coronary sinus. Then the right posterior aortic sinus does not give rise to any coronary artery. So it is known as the non-coronary aortic sinus. Yeah, that is all about these dilatations. So there is something again I'd like to see you, I want us to expose these details to the maximum. Yeah, this is it. So this is the level of the sternal angle. This is where it begins. So I was telling you, do you see at the junction where the ascending aorta and the arch of the aorta unite? That is at the sternal angle over there. So ascending aorta and the arch of aorta unite at the level of the sternal angle. But where they actually unite, there is a bulb. That bulb that I've tried to highlight. That bulb is known as the aortic bulb. So that is all about the ascending aorta. We've said it is 5 centimeters long with a diameter of 3 centimeters, and it begins from the upper end of the left ventricle known as the aortic vestibule. Then it begins behind the left half of the sternum, and which is at the level of the lower body of the third costocatlet. Then it moves upwards and forwards. Yes, moves upwards and forwards. Then afterwards, it terminates at what we call the level of the sternal angle. It continues as the arch of the aorta. Then afterwards, we've gone through the dilatations. So that is all about the ascending aorta. Don't forget, when you watch this video, you kindly subscribe, you like and comment to this YouTube channel. Thank you and bye-bye. Nice time.